It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back, you beauties. Thank you so much for keeping it dialed in. There is a lot going on at the moment.
Yep.
Summer being a big part of it, and we love it. We are embracing it. We're talking about an important topic today with that in mind, keeping our little ones safe from tummy troubles during this time. There have been some nasties going around already this year, and of course they're all going to start mixing with each other pretty soon, and then the stakes are going to raise. The petri dish, I like to call it. Well, pediatrician Dr. Anisa Vahe joins us to put our minds at ease, hopefully.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen. By the way, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yes.
It's going to be a
when
good
do we
one, I
stop
think.
saying that? I just want to make sure that
Never.
Done and dusted. I'm here for that. But let's talk about, of course, tummy troubles this time of year. Naturally, we've come off a period of time where I think the dieting has been a bit looser. You know, our hydration has been a bit looser. People have been doing their thing, and we can completely understand. But now, of course, there's the plight of diarrhea, and this is, you know, the onset of this. There's so many different, you know, causes, etc. But let's start off with, you know, how to protect those kids. From, let's just say, what you were saying, the mixing that's going to be happening.
Are we allowed to send them in a bubble? Can you send them in a bubble to
Unfortunately
school?
not.
Yeah, so how, like, what are some of the ways we can sort of, I'm going to say, treat them now, prevention better than cure, just to make sure that they are protected as they head into a new school year?
So essentially between November and May is our pediatric surge season. It's the busiest time of the year for us pediatricians. This is where gastro cases are a huge, large caseload for us.
Yeah.
So we are very on top of our hygiene. Okay, hand washing is a big thing for us. So we're trying to make sure that our parents are teaching our kids, please hand wash, sanitize, make sure that the food that you're cooking is nice and clean, using clean clean water, and make sure it's not contaminated, and make sure the kids are getting up to their hydration, especially in this heat at the moment.
And that information is available.
Yes.
You know, get queued up, find the right people in your area. There are ways that you can fortify yourself. Is it really that simple? Because I think we often think, okay, there's a bug, we're helpless.
Yes,
Wash your hands. Is it really as simple as us just taking that element of the equation out of play?
Well, it is, because essentially with the diarrhea, it's very infectious. So what happens is that little one, it's always the small one in the house is patient zero. Parents are changing the nappies, and then what happens, mom gets it, passes on to dad, and then goes to Oma and Opa in the house, and then it circulates all the way back to the kids. So that's why we're always saying, especially when you're going to the bathroom, wash your hands.
Break the chain.
Make sure you try and kind of get on top of the hydration with the kids so that they don't get the complications of the diarrhea, but also keep up with your multivitamins, keep up with your hydration status, and just try and get on top of it early on before it gets worse.
Because a stronger body is going to be less susceptible.
That's perfect. In fact, you know, if you have any questions related to this, I'd love to invite you in. We have a doctor, so you might as well use the doctor. 063-408-8863. We'd love to hear if you have any questions around diarrhea, upset tummies, and of course the difference between diarrhea and stress-related stomach ailments, because I think that there is a little divide there that and a little discernment that we need from you, doctor, between that, because yes, we're coming off a holiday season, but then again, matrics are going to get the results soon. There's a lot of, you know, sort of like tummies turning over there, a lot of cortisol involved. So like, how do we tell the difference between, let's just say, a proper stomach ailment and stress?
So essentially with the diarrhea, with the acute infectious diarrhea, it's a rapid response. You get high output watery stools, there might be blood involved with it, but you're acutely unwell. There's a high fever, you might become lethargic, but it's a rapid onset. It happens within 12 to 24 hours. Some cases it goes away within 24 hours, and we count ourselves lucky. But then you've got the IBS, the more chronic illnesses that tends to happen even with food intolerances. You get a bit of lactose intolerance, you get a bit of a response from that. And those are normally, you're not really unwell from it, you kind of know what your triggers are, and it's very mild onset, so you actually don't really need to keep up with the hydration side of things. It normally lasts for weeks on end.
Depleting the body in that same way. Some incredible questions answered already. If you have any yourself, please plug in. We promised you the plug-in this morning, and she's not going to charge, I promise you. Not individually at least, maybe just to us. 063-408-8863. Dr. Vahe's not going anywhere. If your little one is having tummy troubles, we've got you covered.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Right.
So we are having a very interesting, I think all of us have been recounting, well, I certainly has as a parent, so all of those moments when the tummy trouble has taken over and it can sweep through a family. We know it is no joke.
And thank you so much for supporting this particular conversation with your questions. We have pediatrician Dr. Anissa Vahed here, making sure that we get all the information we require as we head into a brand new school year. Now, some of the questions that have come through, I want to start off with one of them, that it's around the foods that are good to eat during diarrhea. Perhaps some of the food that you recommend, because obviously naturally at that time, not a lot wants to go in, a lot's coming out. So can we talk about the foods that people need to hear about? Yeah, the things that kind of, I know, like growing up, they always used to give you something to bind the stomach.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
a banana
some of those?
or flings.
Yeah. Right.
Like there's so many old wives' tales.
That's the thing.
Well,
There's a lot of old wives' tales, and
Yes.
parents panic because the kids stop eating when they get gastro.
You see.
Yeah.
So we try and say, don't bribe them, obviously, with the KFC and the McDonald's, but let's try and kind of get back onto their normal diet. Biggest thing is bland diet, so go into high starch things like toast, boiled eggs, avos, try and kind of get them eating their chicken nuggets and make it into small portions so that it's not a huge meal for them to feel very bloated with.
Okay.
So if it's small portions regularly, they might actually tolerate a bit more, and that'll get them back into it. And once they're feeling better, they will start eating better, and then
the body will demand it.
The body will demand it. They will catch it up. But as soon as we're in that catch-up phase, let them go and eat as much as they want.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, we've got a voice note coming in, which we absolutely love. Let's hope this is not a very difficult situation or conundrum to work through. Tummy troubles, let's hear from our latest caller.
A very good morning to my Expresso family and Dr. Anissa. I would like to know, is there a difference between gastro and diarrhea? Thank you, Jocelyn Ever Gardens. Bye.
Okay, that one from Jocelyn.
Yes.
Difference between gastro and diarrhea.
Yep.
So gastro and diarrhea, gastro is essentially the infection part.
Yeah.
Diarrhea is more the actual symptom of it.
What the body
So
does.
gastro can be caused by infections, can be from virus, bacteria and parasites, and the diarrhea is the actual symptom of it. So that's when you get the high output watery stools, the change in consistency of it.
Okay, fantastic. Well answered, by the way. You should be a doctor. Anyway, dehydration. Here's a big one. I think that recognizing dehydration is very important because naturally we want to prevent, of course, but how do we recognize dehydration before we, treat it? So what are some of the things that we need to look out for?
So the early signs are that they're very thirsty, they're wanting to drink a bit more. Then you kind of get the middle kind of signs where you might actually, they start getting a bit more lethargic.
Okay.
They might actually not want, they might have a bit of low pulses. And then we start going into the severe side, and that's where they start having breathing issues.
Ooh.
So we want to try and get on top of it. We look at weight as a big kind of factor for our signs of dehydration, especially in our children. But it's very simple little signs to actually look out for.
I know, and this is quite a strange thing to kind of wrap your head around, but our body isn't a reservoir for water, albeit we are mainly made up of water. So that says we can't just drink water to rehydrate.
No.
What do we do? Do you have a hack for us?
So water doesn't have sugar and electrolytes. It's all about replacing that. So the motto should be, as much as we're having diarrhea and how much we're losing, we need to be replacing that.
Okay.
So this is regular sips of something like an oral rehydration solution. So it's very easy. 1 litre of cooled down boiled water, 8 level teaspoons of sugar and half a teaspoon of salt. You can put a tiny bit of Oros in or a tiny bit of lemon juice just to try and change the taste.
Yeah.
Or a simple measure is just going to get those rehydration solution sachets and just mix that. And we take regular sips frequently just to try and avoid that dehydration.
We don't want to guzzle the water down or the solution down. You want it to be systematic and slower, right?
Because generally what happens is they're vomiting. That's the thing.
True.
So you want to try and avoid the vomiting. So it's always try and take regular sips as often as we can. For the older kids and the adults, we normally say 1 cup of water every time you go to the bathroom. But the smaller kids, little small sips as often as you can.
Just keep it going in. Keep it going in.
And if obviously you're big concerned or something's finding excessive, your child is not looking right, you're not managing to take the orals, then we say go get seen in the emergency unit. This is not something to wait tomorrow to get
for
our
sure.
appointments. Emergency units are open 24 hours a day. Rather come and get checked out out and get guided on where your child is, especially from the hydration state.
Yeah, and we know how depleted that little body can become in that situation, which just opens the gateway to a whole lot of other kind of scary thoughts as well. Doc, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
stay
you, guys.
safe, stay healthy this year, all the best. And thank you for working right through this period. For all of the people that you've helped, we're going to thank you on their behalf as well. But hopefully this has helped you guys just a little bit to see those warning signs, take cognizance of that, but there is something you can do about it, and it's not too hectic. If it is the nerves, though, we're right there with you. It's the start of a brand new year, so hopefully the rest of the show will help to calm everyone down.